Hi, I'm Jaden.
And what's up? I'm Michelle.
We're both 16. I grew up in a homosexual household.
And I grew up in a heterosexual household.
One of my moms is a TV news anchor, while the other one is an architect.
And my dad is a pastor, and my mom is a stay-at-home wife.
About a year ago, I moved into her neighborhood, and we became the best of friends.
But with our parents, it wasn't really the same. About 2 days after Jane and her family moved into the neighborhood, my dad went over and welcomed them.
But he assumed that my parents were sisters.
And from there, it went downhill. The Sunday after the incident, Jane and her parents decided to come to church. But what they didn't know was my dad was going to humiliate them before they even got a chance to sit down. His exact words were, "No sin is greater than the other except homosexuality. It is an abomination and it's just nasty." But he said that he wasn't going to point out their flaws, but what he did was call them by name.
After the incident at church, my mom, Sarah, was furious. But we decided to forget about it and go have some fun at a local amusement park.
So after church was over, my mom put my dad off to the side and told him he was so wrong for what he did. But my dad didn't really care. He didn't see anything wrong with it. And for the next 2 weeks, he did his very best to drive the Mills out of town, making flyers to gathering rallies. And the more time he spent doing that, the more time he was neglecting me and my mom.
Even though our parents had our differences, me and Michelle still stayed the best of friends. However, Michelle started hanging with the wrong crowd and kind of fell off in school.
And after missing at least 3 weeks of school, Jayden finally called me in the schoolyard one day. And I believe that particular day, I was
Later that day, one of our teachers asked about Michelle. And by the end of the day, I, along with my parents and Michelle's parents, got called to the office to discuss why Michelle hadn't been to school in 3 weeks.
And once my parents got into the office, my dad accused Jayden of my behavior.
And I hadn't even done anything.
And once my dad opened up his mouth, Sarah opened up her mouth.
And if you know Sarah, Sarah don't play in the past words.
And Sarah asked my dad, "What's wrong? Pastor too busy worried about the sinners outside his home. He can't keep the ones in his home in order. Sweep your own front porch before you come snooping around mine."
6 months later, my moms were doing their taxes. And they realized as a family, we make too much money. Instead of getting money, like most people do for income tax, we have to give money and help the government financially.
And across the street, my mom and her new girlfriend were trying to get out the house before my dad got. So the next day, my mom and dad were arguing. My dad was saying all my mom does is complain, and my mom says all my dad does is entertain Miss. And finally, my mom got sick of it and called her new girlfriend, Jasmine, to come get her. My dad.
About a week later, me and my mom were sitting down talking, and she asked me, had I been keeping in touch with Michelle? I told her, yeah, she's been coming to school, she stopped drinking, but she's pregnant, and she might have AIDS. I then went on to tell my mom that Michelle's back staying with her mom and her mom's new girlfriend, Jasmine. And once I told my mom, Amy, she had to tell my mom, Sarah. And it went something like this. You be Amy, I'll be Sarah.
Sarah!
What?
Guess celebrity just came out of the closet?
Your mom?
No, your granny.
Girl, don't play. You know my dad don't play that foolishness.
Anyways, Bethany Williams, the preacher's wife.
Girl, you lie.
I'm not. But on a serious note, Destiny and Tiffany got locked up in a psych ward because they cut up in their courthouse in New Jersey because they wouldn't let them get married.
Wow. Well, you know, Tiffany was already going through it since they wouldn't let her adopt no kids. Because she's gay. See.
2 months later, my dad fell into a deep depression. And once everyone found out that my mom left my dad for another woman, he became the laughingstock of the entire town. He lost his position as pastor, and he got booted from the church. Amy felt sorry for him, but Sarah felt like he was getting what he deserved. And sooner than later, Amy convinced Sarah to console my dad and extend open arms to him. Oh my God. Baby, no. It hurts. Hey. Babe. Come on. It hurts.
Hi, I'm Jaden. Seriously? Seriously.
If you're cool, then I'm cool, then we're cool. If you're cool, then I'm cool.